YouTube.
The weekend vibes, Fins Talk, we go live. Bobby fans and Fish Tank Hank, Miami Dolphins, we got your back. Saturday noon is the place to be, catching Dolphins talking fantasy. From the field to the fan debate, Fins Talk today, don't be late. Fins up, we ride until the end with Bobby and Hank, they're your best friends. Podcast popping every week, no delay, join the crew, Fins Talk today. Live chatting, stats so prime, Miami hustle all the time. News and views will pave the way. Dive on in, it's Fins Talk today. Top plays and what went wrong, breaking down each game so strong. Fans united, feel the beat. Fins Talk, Taylor can't be beat. Fins up, we ride until the end with Bobby and Hank, they're your best friends. Podcast popping every week, no delay, join the crew, Fins Talk today. Fins up, we ride until the end with Bobby.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to another edition of Fins Talk today on FTSN. I'm Bobby Fins Talk, joined always by the legend Fish Tank Hank and the one and only, I say the fastest growing Dolphins podcast, YouTube show ever out there, Fins Faithful Pod, George. What's up, George?
What's up, fellas? Good to be back. Little known fact, this is my first ever appearance was on Fins Talk today sometime last year. So always love to come on with you guys. Pleasure. How you both doing?
You know, for me, fellas, I'm doing pretty good. I got some help from one of my friends. I made a friend over the past couple days.
There you go.
He's a very kind Army veteran, and he helped me through a rough patch, as us veterans do for one another, and he treated me with such dignity and respect that it really helped me emotionally and stuff, and I had somebody to connect with, and we discussed, and he became my Army buddy. I became his coastie buddy. So we were good friends for a few days and had some fun. And I am so looking forward to doing this show with you folks. It feels like my therapy, I always tell Bobby, this is my therapy. So here we are, and I'm ready. Thanks to that Army veteran.
There you go. Thanks to all vets out there. So, salute. We appreciate you guys. Everyone who's tuning in right now. Damien, Hammer Time, Raphael, appreciate you guys watching. Everyone watching, wherever you're watching from, we thank you. Watching Fins Talk today here on FTSN. If you're anywhere other than YouTube, hop on over, hit that subscribe button. And after you're done, after the show, of course, because we don't want you to miss a fun show, go check out the Fins Faithful Pod with George and Jason Sarney and the crew, what he's building there. And it's there's no shortcut. It's an organic growth. I just love watching it. I love the work George puts in. It's just awesome to see. So go check George out. Make sure you subscribe. George, are you at 2,000 yet?
Almost 40 something, 50,
Come on.
45 away or something like that. We're pounding there slowly but surely. Yeah. The goal is to get there before the season. I appreciate the kind words, man. Yeah. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. You know the ins and outs of it. So yeah, man, if you're not watching this show, come check us out. Stick with us over there, and we got a lot of fun things coming up. So I appreciate the kind words, guys.
Absolutely.
Hey, you don't need kind words, my brother. You're making some great action out there for these folks, and they're tuning in. It's really that simple.
Thank you, Hank.
And
I appreciate it.
I know they appreciate your knowledge and your dedication to all this, too.
Yeah. I always say the most things I get back is what transmits through the mic is my passion, and I can't help you hear it in my voice when I talk about something. Especially the draft. I mean, I know Bobby, you're big on the draft too, so we share that. So
Bobby's bigger than me. I thought Bobby and I used to kind of be like this together, about the draft, and then Bobby suddenly went, and I'm down here somewhere, way down there somewhere.
It's funny enough. I know that we're getting off tangent.
You're good, brother.
I watched my first draft probably when I was 9 years old, and ever since then I was hooked. More than the team, and then the team followed. I just love everything about it. I mean, if I could change careers and roles, it would be that. But But yeah, man. Again, thank you guys for the kind words. And you both, especially Bobby. You know, were a big help in me getting started. So I don't forget that. Trust me.
Oh, brother, I'm always here to help, and I'm proud of everything you're doing. I really am. On the outside looking in, every time I see you go live, and I'm like, sometimes I might not be able to go on, but
No.
I'm just like, I was like, that's cool for me. I just love saying it. And I'm with you on the draft, dude. I used to buy all the draft books.
Yeah,
I still now I do my own stuff, but I still buy all the draft. Did this. I know you're on the same thing.
Yeah.
As soon as the draft was over, me, Josh Wingate, coach, we jumped right into next year's draft.
Well, I don't know how you guys do it, man.
I love it, dude. It
is just so much information, though.
Yeah,
I can't do it. I cannot do it, fellas.
You gotta really enjoy it, to be honest. If you don't,
it's true.
What I do is I look at our positions of need, and that's usually 3 to 5, and then I'll kind of look at those folks.
Yeah,
but what you guys do, what you two do, you guys blow me away. I can't handle all that.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys who do it. You know what I mean? So, but do it well. I don't know. It's another. Let me stop.
And I will say,
I trust your judgment. I trust Bobby's judgment too. Sometimes, until I gotta, give him, reality check.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I will say one of my favorite things about doing the draft stuff and watching, and I think George, you're the same, is when we find guys that no one is talking about. Or like if I say a name or something, or I'm watching a show and all of a sudden George mentions a name and I'm like, holy crap, I was watching him too. Yeah. Or when our guy gets drafted, George, and that's like Ollie Gordon, when he got drafted, I was like, oh.
It's the thing is, it's easy to know. Well, and we don't have to get too much of this, but it's easy to know the names. Even like some of the late round guys. We all know who Quinn Ewers was.
Absolutely.
You knew the two backs were Damian Martinez or Ollie Gordon. You know what I mean? But you have a preference of one. But like, for example, for me, this past draft, two guys in particular was Isaac. I think I mentioned him on your show, Isaac Tesla, the receiver that went to the Detroit Lions at pick 70. And I had him in my top 100, and not many people did. And then Caleb Ransaw, the safety out of Tulane, another guy out of my top 100, safety corner. And he went at 88 or something. So not many people had him at the top 100. So those are the things I like to do. The list, top 50, you can mix them around. You know what I mean? People are going to have pretty much the same, if you get the order right. But, yeah, man, I love it. But I know people are past that. They want to get into this upcoming season, though.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got plenty of time to talk about next year's draft. And just preview. I know I could probably speak for George because I know George. We're already hard at work on next year's draft for both channels. So, but this show is not about the draft. It's about this upcoming season.
Yes, it is.
And my goodness, you can feel any type of way about Miami and what they're going to do next year and how happy, excited, disappointed, whatever. I saw so many different comments before the show, like, oh, the Dolphins are going to do great this year. Oh, they're going to be trash this year. But I can tell you one thing. Dolphin news, Dolphin coverage, content, whatever, it's never boring. There's so much to do and so much to talk about. It's not like you could just get to the season and it all be over. We got Minka Fitzpatrick, we traded Janu, we got Darren Waller out of the retirement home. There's so much to talk about. So this show, though, is we're going to kind of put that all together, and we're going to talk about our season predictions and projections. I forwarded the questions to the guys. Of course, we could go sidetrack here and there if we have other topics. We're good at that. But we kind of have it down the line of what we're going to do. As we are doing that, I am going to quickly look here, and I'm going to ask George, I'm going to ask your opinion.
Yep.
I don't know Hank would know as much about this, but so I'm on my pick. Okay. Guys, I've said, you guys, those who watch know I do 1,000 things at once, and that's okay. I love it. So with the channel, I agreed to a basketball dynasty draft for Fantasy Now Plus, which is our fantasy sports show, and they're growing. So they got into basketball now. They say, hey, Bobby, do you want to do fantasy basketball? We're going to do a dynasty league. I said, sure. Hell yeah. I love basketball. I'll do it. I didn't know today was the draft. So I'm on the 4th pick. And so so far the pick is Victor Wembanyama went 1. Luka went 2. Anthony Edwards went 3. So Alexander are on the board right now. Should I pick George? I'm to ask you your opinion.
I'd go SGA.
I want to go SGA. That's okay. I'm gonna feel comfortable doing that because that's where I was at. He's the league MVP. You know what he's
between
gonna
those two names. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going SGA. I feel good about that.
Hey,
all right.
You make your pick on your time for that basketball stuff. Everybody here wants to hear about football.
Raphael even said get the OKC guard, so I'm good.
Let's
I just wanted to make sure. But let's roll this out. Let's get going here, okay? So
hey, we got people that are fans of every team here in Florida. I think this place is great, man.
Absolutely, brother. So first off, George, let me ask you this, and as we get these questions rolling, because I'll just say full disclosure, and Hank went back down a notch last week or on a win. So just full disclosure, Hank and I doing a way too early season prediction. We still got to wait to see who they sign as a corner, see how the final roster looks, see the preseason. Then we could say, hey, let's go ahead and check the roster or the schedule. But Hank and I both at right now at 9-8 for next season. That's just where we're at. Have you guys made that? Have you looked at it and gave like an way too early prediction? Yeah. Where are you standing on the season?
You're gonna hate that I agree with you guys, but I'm at 9, and I always give it a plus minus of a couple games either way. If, for example, Tua stays healthy,
yes,
or Tua doesn't, we have a bunch of injuries. The edge rushers will get hurt.
Yeah.
So plus or minus 1 or 2, but I'd put the media in right where you guys have it. I think you're in the wheelhouse. I honestly don't think much. How could you go any different? I don't know how much, we moved some pieces here and there, but like, I don't know how you could feel that much different about this team.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Hank.
I do.
Uh-oh.
I feel a lot different than both of you. And we're going to cover that first, and then we'll talk about where I'm at after I cover this information.
Okay. Well, George,
that I've been privy to over the past, 6 hours or so.
Oh, okay. You got some information. All right. Well, George kind of hit the nail on the head, right? We're at 9 wins, right? Through the 3 of us, which I think is fair. I mean, that doesn't mean we're not going to be rooting the Dolphins to win every game. It is, but one of the key ingredients to Dolphin success is the health of Tua. So let's start with that.
All right.
Over under.
Well, George, guess first, right?
Yeah. George, start off with you. Over under. Tua plays 13 games. Where you at, man?
I'm gonna go over. He's done it. I think 3 seasons he's done that out of the 5. If I'm right, 2 of them were 13, and I think the other one was 17. I'm gonna go over. I think I got a feeling he'll stay healthy this season. And I guess I know you have some other questions following, and I guess those questions are going to be kind of tied into this first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I would say over. And I always say this, and I'll say this, and I always say this on my show, is that with Tua starting quarterback healthy, you have a floor. This team is never going to bottom out. So everybody who thinks they're going to win 5-6 games with Tua, this is an 8-9 win team, I think, at a minimum. He's a floor riser. Now, how much does he rise the ceiling? That's another question. But I'll go over. I don't know how much over, but just right over on 13.
There you go. Fish tank.
All right. Bobby, I had to take notes, though.
That's okay.
I had to take notes, folks. I'm sorry. So I got to read from my notes a little bit. Okay. I went with the over with Tua. Okay. He's shown like durability in recent seasons, playing all 17 games, both 2023 and 2024, I believe, with improved offensive line protection now and a focus on quick release in Mike McDaniel's schemes. I think he's positioned to stay healthy through at least 14 of those games, barring any minor unforeseen injury kind of, like, oh, he broke his finger. We got to take him out because his pinky's broken, something like that I'm talking. So I don't see him getting pummeled where he's taken out is my point, like he used to be. I think with the assets of strong running back, with Ollie and everything else, that's going to offset everybody just coming right in. And we got that good, lovable, big, giant beast of a man on our offensive line now, too, don't we? So
There you go. There you go.
14's a good number.
I think that's where I'm at. I would say I'm at 13 and a half. So I'm going to say over. I'm going to say over because, you got to go based off history. I think last year he played 12. The year before he played 17 when he had gained that weight. I think it was 12 last year, and then 13 the 2 years prior. I'm going to go
yeah, I
13.
couldn't remember. That's what I was saying.
All good. I'm going to go 13 and a half. I'm going to go over, but just by half a game. And again, that's just based off, we feel a little better with this offensive line, but that's something to remember. A lot of the time, it wasn't the offensive line that got Tua killed. It was Tua who got himself injured.
Yeah,
making
you're
bad
right.
decisions, running head first. And, again, I could see that becoming a problem. And then we'll see what happens. But I'm going on the over, but just by half. 13.
Hey, I like that comment, Bobby. You were totally on the money with that about Tua taking himself out a couple times,
Absolutely.
He didn't need to do that hero crap.
So Fish Tank, I'll start with you, and then George follow up.
All right.
Over under Tua throws for over 4,000 yards. You going over or under on that?
That's an easy one.
Okay,
that's over. He's led the league with 4,624 yards in 2023. Followed that up with over 4,000 yards, I believe, in 2024. Betting lines right now, I looked those up, and the betting lines set his 2025 over under at about 3,600 yards, which seems conservative to me. You know what I mean? That doesn't seem that crazy, right? Given his weapons, he's got Tyreek Hill, he's got Jalen Waddle. I expect him to eclipse somewhere around 4,200 if he plays a full slate. He's got to play a full slate. Okay?
So
yeah. So I would just say, you have 17 games. I could see that being the case. But George, go ahead. Over under 4,500 yards.
Yeah, 17 games. That's a lock for over. If he
absolutely.
I think he's only Hank. I think he's only hit over 4,000 once, and that's primarily due to injuries. I think the year before he had around 3,500 or so with about 13 games. So
yeah, I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
If he plays 14, 15 games, I think he hits the mark. It'll be close. I think it's close. I think that's a good number, Bobby. I'm going to go over because I have a feeling he's going to be healthy. But I will say this. I'm hoping there's more emphasis on the running game with the improved offensive line. Yes. So that could also factor in. But I'm going to go if he plays 15 games, he goes over.
Yeah, so last year he played only, I'm going to make sure.
11, I think.
11 games. Yep. So he finished with 2,867 yards, 19 touchdowns, 7 INTs. I have it 13 and a half. So I am going to go with 4,000. I'm going under. I'm going to say he's around that 3,500 mark. And he's played 13. And again, if he's at that 15, 16, I'll say 16 and a half, 17 games, 45. Yes, absolutely. He's done it before. He has the weapons. He could absolutely do it. I'm with you, George, though. I hope they emphasize the running game. But if I'm going to go 13 games at the over,
then
13 and a half,
then I'd go under. Yeah,
it's under 4,000.
Everything is. It starts with the health, and everything's under that umbrella. It's crazy with him.
Absolutely.
It's unfortunate, but he got beat up quick. He comes in all beat up already, just coming out of that massive hip thing, and he gets all beat up.
Yeah.
Poor guy, man. I feel bad for him,
Well, and again, it's 17 games, though. And that's what showed, like you see here, at 17 games in 2023, when healthy. He stayed healthy. That's when he had the weight and he wasn't as fast and whatever enough. But he had 4,600 yards, So, that tells you what he could do if he can stay healthy. But that's 1 year.
Yeah. If you look at the year before, where I think he played only 13, he had like 3,500, almost 3,600 yards. So it's right. If he played 1 or 2 more games, it's right around that 15,
absolutely
15 and a half mark where he would have to hit the 4,000. But if it's 17, you can lock that in. It'd be a disappointment if he didn't get 4,000 yards.
Absolutely.
I
So
stand by what I said. I think he's going to get 4,200 yards.
there you go. There you go.
Mhm.
So we'll start with George on this one again, and we'll stay with Tua.
Yes,
Over
sir.
under on 30 touchdowns.
Ooh, under. He's never done it in his career. Again, it would be close if he stays healthy, but if I'm thinking 14, 15 games, no, again, emphasis more on the running game. I'm going to go under.
Fish tank.
Okay, so yes, sir. Sorry, I was kind of just, listening to George. I thought he was gonna like smooth flow me or something,
Okay,
maybe
sorry.
throw a brick. I don't know. Hey, look, this one's simple, folks. It's over, and I'm gonna tell you why it's over for his very first time. And not only is it going to be over, it's going to be over 32 plus. He's never had a line this in control up the middle from where all these people usually come and smack the snot out of him. Okay? We have some stability there that we've never had so far. Now, we all know our left side isn't proven in any means.
Fair.
And but at the same time, we're much better off than we were. We all keep saying, you add in that running game first of all. That changes so much, and it's achievable. In Mike McDaniel's, he's got a high-powered offense. He hasn't been able to put it on the field, not to the professionalism or the point where he needs to. You know what I mean? If you guys keep seeing me look away, it's because I lose my train of thought. Sorry.
You're okay. You're good. We
We
got
all
you,
do
brother.
it. We all do it.
So, um, I think it's very achievable, and I truly believe he could get 32 plus, just based on those simple facts alone. I think
Yeah.
he can do it.
What it will help your point, if I can jump in here, Bobby, is
Absolutely, bro. Take it over.
if they run the ball effectively and the offensive line is that improved, it's going to make teams come off that quarter and too high defense, and that's the reason they haven't come off it is because they were playing that and they were still not running the ball. So that will all help. That will help your point. Hey, look, I hope you're right. I hope you're right with the running game though. Like I don't want Tyreek Hill with 2,000 yards receiving and we're winning 9 games and we're not running the football. That's not the recipe for success, actually.
No,
You know,
no.
even though Tyreek wants it.
But even if we went with Tyreek Hill,
Yeah.
I think he's going to get more yards just because of Ollie.
Okay.
That's what I think. I truly believe he will get more passes to him because, like you just said, they're going to have to come back up now. They won't be able to sit back there.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
So I'm gonna go under 30. I think, and again, I'm going 13 and a half games, 3,500 yards. You go based off the history, off what he's done. And I think I'm with George on the running game. I think that it's going to be more of an emphasis this year, especially with Ali, and then you got Devon Achin. We know what his goals are for this upcoming season. I'm going to go 25. That's where I'm at. I'm around that area, 25 to
I'm sorry.
25.
Do we have to give numbers?
No, you don't. That's I'm just saying, man.
Okay.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
I'll go 27. How about
There you
that?
go.
I'll
My
start
bad.
adding numbers now.
like I told Bobby, I don't usually have numbers, but I had to write stuff down,
That's
so
all right.
I have numbers.
Hey,
now.
if you're that convicted, Hank, you should look at the betting line there in the over-unders.
Yeah.
If you're that,
No.
you'll get good. Not that convicted.
I only read things for fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this
Yeah.
is so much fun when I started this morning and I went through all this stuff about our team and I was like, wow, this could be like this. Wow, these are great questions, Bobby. And I'm telling you, I had fun with it. I said, I'm going to take the positive silver lining
There you go.
all the way and ride it home.
There you go. First off, shout out to everyone who's watching right now and commenting. We appreciate you guys tuning in and appreciate the comments. Shout out to Sammy of Fins TV, who's watching on Twitter.
Sammy,
friend of the network, friend of Fins Faithful Pod.
Right.
Guys, again, you love Dolphins content and you haven't yet, go check out Fins TV with Sammy and the crew. Those guys put on a great show, great production. They kill it. Daniel, Scotty, what's up, Scotty? Tua would have had 30 and 23, but Mostert took 18 that year. Some of these could easily have been epic. Absolutely. And I think that falls
Great
into
point.
this season. This falls into this season with what I'm saying, at least. I think the running game will be more of an emphasis this year. So we'll see. Jonathan,
I think we all are in agreement about the running
point
game.
by Clown Prince here. There's only 4 QBs last year that had 30 or more touchdowns. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So there you go. So let's see. Let's
Start
now
us
stay
off,
with
Bobby.
Tua. Starting off with keeping with Tua here.
You start us.
Over and under 10 INTs, Fish Tank.
That's you, Bobby. Start us out.
Oh, you're starting me out?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. So you're trying to make, okay. I'm going to go 10 and a half. So I guess I don't want to say even, so I'll say over.
Gentlemen.
Me?
Guest. Yes, sir.
I'm over as well. I'll go 11.
Okay.
All right. Here you go, guys.
We're no fun. We're too good.
It's going to be under, fellas. I told you I'm riding it, Bobby.
I know. You're riding it, all right.
Hey, I'm so joyful right now for having you two in my life. Okay?
Oh, God bless you, brother.
So I say under. And you know why? His decision making has matured. You know, he's been averaging around 12 per season, right? Something like that. Improved pocket presence, balanced attack, which he's going to have a balanced attack now.
He didn't see
Should keep him at around 8 or 9 interceptions. He won't have to try to win the games anymore.
Oh boy.
Oh, Hank. Oh, I just let Hank see some of these things here. Sunglasses.
Hey, yeah, I usually have my sunglasses on. You know I do.
Hank,
But
you need a custom jersey with that.
I've never seen that phrase.
I've never seen that phrase before.
Pretty good.
That's
what's
something
that? What phrase?
Tuasexual. Did you see that? Anything is a tuasexual.
Raphael, if you don't mind, I'm gonna steal that one.
I know, like get a T-shirt. That's it. No more two and ears. You're tuasexual. That's it.
Hey, this is
oh,
simple for me. I'm telling you, I really think, if he's been averaging 12, if he's been averaging 12, he could get under 10.
Hey, he's smart, right? I mean, he's one of the smarter quarterbacks out there, but again, I just feel the kind of way it's trending, I think he's going to take more chances, not more about bad decision making. You know what he does. He gets scared. The line breaks. He goes running. That's when he makes the bad decisions, when everything kind of falls apart.
Throws the ball to the ground and everything
exactly.
else.
So, that's where I'm at. Scotty's at 33 and 12. So I think that's pretty fair.
Look, if they lean into run heavy, it could be under 30 and under 10 easy.
100%.
And around 34, 3,500 yards. Like, even if he plays 15 or 16 games. So it all depends. And
I mean, it is what it is. So moving on. So if he is, we talked about slide to a slide, 100%, Sammy. Who has the most receiving yards this season? Fish Tank, we'll start with you, then George, and then I'll follow up.
Yes, sir. I believe, at least I have this written down, Tyreek Hill, it says. And as the primary deep threat, he's always pretty much leading the Dolphins for since he got there, kind of. And, his chemistry with Tua is unmatched. Now, Jalen Waddle is close. Jalen Waddle's going to be real close with him. But as we all know, Tua likes to dump it within a certain distance between 20 to 30 yards in there somewhere. is where he averages, I think. I didn't look that up. And Waddle gets a lot of those passes. That's why I think the two of them are going to be really close. But I think Tyreek Hill edges him out with everybody moving up, like George said. It's going to give him more availability to catch the ball and make that progress like he used to. Catch it short in the 30s, take it up the field. I think that's going to start happening again.
Yeah, I agree with you on a lot of the points you made there, Hank. I'll go with Tyreek as well. I think what you think of him on or off the field is another separate issue, but it looks like he's in great shape. I think he was hurt last year, so I think that affected a lot of the stuff he was doing. So I think a healthy Tyreek would be irresponsible for me to pick anybody else on this team. I think Waddle will probably be right behind him, but I want to go with a big bounce back year for Tyreek. And again, everything comes back to his health. But I'm going to go big bounce back year for Tyreek. He's healthy.
Yeah, I'm going with Tyreek Hill as well. I think I think he did lead the team. It was only 900 something yards, but I think he did lead last year. But I think Scotty is around that area. I think he's right. They're around that 1350. Yeah. I'd say 1500 yards could be the case. I could see that happening. I could see Waddle having a strong year as well. I would say around that 1,000-yard mark. But HN obviously is going to get a lot of that. I don't know about Darren Waller. I'm not too about that, but I think Tyreek is going to be the leading receiver in terms of yardage. Moving on, who leads this team in touch? Well, let's go with who leads this team in receptions. Receptions.
That's easy.
First?
Yeah,
that's an easy one.
Go ahead, Hank.
Waddle, all day long. He's right in there where Tua likes to throw it. It's going to be Waddle. He's going to get the most. That's what I think. Okay. He's the slot receiver.
I'm going to be boring. I think it's also Tyreek.
Yeah. No. Go ahead, George. Go.
No. Just for basically the same things I said as far as the receiving yards. I think it's if Tyreek gets the most receiving, I think it'll line up with him getting the most catches. With Waddle right behind him, of course.
100%. I don't think Hank's too off. I think Waddle, especially because Waddle's in that middle portion of the field, and then Tyreek is over the top. But I think Tyreek is going to be the leading receiver in terms of receptions. Now, touchdowns. I think Westbrook could take over what Jonnu was doing. I think Westbrook might be the leading pass catcher in touchdowns this year. Red zone threat. Hank?
Let's rewind this. I don't think Hank's too off or wrong. No, Bobby, I'm right. You're wrong.
Okay.
That was it. Just wanted to make that comment, Bobby.
All right. Who leads the team in receiving touchdowns, Hank?
Receiving touchdowns. That's going to be Tyreek. His speed creates scoring like crazy. You guys know that. It's got to be Tyreek.
All right.
Yeah, this was an interesting one because obviously the guy who did it last year is no longer here. I don't know. I mean, like you said, I don't know what to expect from the rapper / football player Darren Waller, who gave up football. That's a whole other thing. We're trying to change the culture, and we did. I don't know about you guys. That one caught me from left field, but
it did too. Me too.
You are 100%.
I like the NWI pick. I think I'm going to go the trifecta with Tyreek. I think I just going to go trifecta here. Again, I like your NWI pick though, because he kind of does some of the stuff that Jonnu does.
That's where it is. And again, if you go look at what he did in Tennessee, the yardage, whatever, but what he was able to do as a red zone threat with two quarterbacks that are not on Tua's level. You think about, where they were last year with Tennessee at the quarterback position. You think, okay, if Tua goes down, well, what Zach Wilson's going to come in, or is that Quinn Ewers? Well, look what Nick Westbrook did with Will Levis and whoever else was their quarterback. Yeah. So with a Tua in the red zone, what Tua was able to do with Jonnu, I think he could do with Nick Westbrook. Yeah. And so that's why I said, go ahead, George.
No, to emphasize your point, I heard in camp that he wasn't impressive till they got to the red zone work. So that enhances your point that when he gets to the red zone is probably because I think Malik is in like between the 20s as a third receiver, fits the offense more. I think he's quicker. He gets to the spot. You can trust him to be there. That's not kind of the quick twitch is not NWI strength. But I think when we get down to the red zone is when you'll see his impact. And it could be if Darren Waller all of a sudden has a resurgence. I don't think it's a lock for him to make this team, by the way. But like if he has a resurgence, he's also a candidate. It's an interesting. Yeah. It's one of the tougher ones you asked, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Who leads the team in total touchdowns? There's receiving touchdown, but who leads the lead in total touchdowns?
Ooh. Me first, or
yeah, go right ahead.
I'll go A-Chain.
Yeah.
I still think A-Chain is going to be a big part of the running game because there's no Mostert and there's no Wilson, and we're relying on young guys who have talent. But again, they're unproven. Even Jalen Wright. So, and A-Chain is just a multiple faceted weapon that it's just get the ball in his hands, get touches in his hands, and he'll have more variety of chances and ways to score. So I'm going to go Devon A-Chain.
I'm with you. I'm going Devon A-Chain as well. I think he had 12 last year, 6 and 6. I think he'll
14,
go over
15.
that. Yeah. He's going to be, and that's where I'm at. He's going to be over that. Hank?
Yeah. I got to agree. The guy is explosive on the ground. He's got great vision. And like we keep saying, I truly believe we have an improved offense right now. Hard-nosed running is going to happen. How many are Ollie Gordon? How many is he going to get, when we get close to the line? That might take some away from him. So that would be the only reason I would see why he probably wouldn't get the most. You know what I mean?
I think that's fair, because we don't know. I know I'm high on Ollie. I believe in Ollie. I was talking about him, Martinez and Ollie and there's a couple other guys in there. But when we got Ollie, I just love what he can do in short yardage situations. Yeah. But again, I'm going to say he's a rookie. I'm not going to put it on him to do anything crazy this coming season. I think he can be a huge emphasis on this team. But Devon A-Chain, I know his goal. I think he said 15 and was it 15 and 5 or something he wants to do, 1,500 yards and 500 touchdowns 500 yards receiving. I don't know if he'll get 1,500 yards rushing, but I think he's going to finally break that 1,000 yards, and I could see him with over 600 yards receiving. And then he could, I think that 12 to 15 touchdown range is in that realm. Just like what Raheem Mostert did. Yeah. I think that could be the same formula that they're going to run.
And the one thing with Ollie is the one thing I'm confident about it, and that's when I started liking him more. I know you really liked him, Bobby, and is that I started looking at him as in that 2-down back role. And I think the one thing I'm most confident in him doing right away is in that short yardage situation. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Scotty says I like Malik. I think he's going to break out. Hey, man, 100% Malik Washington.
Yeah, check out our
baby. I'd love to see it.
Scotty, check out our last week. We had our top 5 breakout guys. He was one of them. Check out the show. It was fun.
There you go. What's up, Cap? Cap in the house, Bleezy, everybody who's tuning in. We appreciate you guys watching. So I think we could all say that Devon A-Chain is probably going to lead the team in rushing. Is it right?
I got a sleeper one. I got a little Ollie Gordon action there.
Throw it in there. Throw it in there.
Talk to me, brother.
I got a little Ollie because I think A-Chain's going to get maybe 8 or 9, let's say, reception touchdowns, 4 or 5 receiving.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, Ollie Gordon gets 7, 8 rushing touchdowns.
Ooh.
I know you love that, Bobby.
Hey, you're getting me excited, boy.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, if you said, okay, here's $100, put it on the name, probably lean A-Chain, but I'm having a little fun. I'm going Ollie Gordon.
I love that, man.
Why not?
That's awesome.
We're talking about who leads the team in rushing yards, right?
Touchdowns. Not rushing yards. No, rushing yards. I'm going A-Chain.
Okay. All right.
Were you talking rushing?
I don't know where we're at. I thought
we touchdowns or rushing yards, Bobby.
I was going rushing yards.
Oh no. Sorry.
Rushing touchdowns. You might be on the money there. I think.
Hey guys,
rushing yards.
I can tell you. Hey, George, let me interrupt you for a second. All right. The only reason, like I said, I'm following
Oh,
along with
nice.
what Bobby's saying. I have, like I said, otherwise I wouldn't have known where
No,
the
no,
hell we
I
were at
misunderstood
either.
it. Yeah, I misunderstood it. That's my fault.
No. It's good. I
No
think. No,
wonder
I
you
think
guys. I was like, "What? Why are you guys so like shocked that I'm saying that?"
no.
and then when you told me, I'm like, "No, yeah, I'll
No, but
definitely
rushing
go."
touchdowns. First off, and forgive me, the comments kind of went by real fast for me. Jonathan says he has a feeling Ollie's going to get that Jalen Wright treatment from last and not get that many touches.
Well,
I can understand that fear, and I think it's right on, especially with how Miami kind of treats the rookie backs. But Ollie, I think the way he performs in camp and in preseason, and he's going to force himself in that role. Miami doesn't have a big back to be that
yes.
third down situation, red zone threat. He's that guy. So I could see what George is talking about with Ollie Gordon being your leading rusher in terms of touchdowns. And because of his size, what he could, and let's not sleep on him as a receiver. He can do everything, but that red zone threat, I could see him doing that.
I think Wright will get more carries probably. I think Wright's going to get we can't forget about Jalen. I think he'll get more carries between the 20s, but I think if Gordon, it depends. Like we'll know about Ollie in camp if we start hearing his name in preseason, but I think if he puts himself in that position, because he is a different flavor in the room that we just haven't had. But go ahead, Hank.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize on you. That's what I had said. Why Chan might not get as many touchdowns, and that's where I was like, just saying what you were saying. I agree. Gordon could definitely be the man, especially if we're using him like we usually use Chan, or putting it out there for Wright or something like that. If this guy becomes as good of a back as we all hope he does, he could be very difficult to deal with him in the passing, running, whatever. And he's a good blocker. So
yeah, he just brings a different flavor to the room. Shout out to Jonathan.
Yes,
I didn't
sir.
see him in here. Jonathan, how you doing? And I see them talking about Alexander Madison. Not a fan. I think he's a progress stopper. I don't. I think if you're giving him the carries, it's not a good sign for Ollie Gordon if Alexander Madison is getting the goal line reps.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'll just see. I'm with that. I think I'm gonna wait till preseason to see how he looks. There's a reason why he was where he was. Yeah. Let's see preseason and go from there.
Remember,
we have a long way to go.
Actually, just right around the corner, brother. For preseason's around the corner. I can't wait.
I know. I'm just saying till we actually start, Bobby.
Time flies. I can tell you that.
It does. 100%. 100%. All right. Who leads this team in sacks, Fish Tank? This is a tough one.
Yeah.
Could be a tough one.
I think it's between two guys, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, it has to be Chop Robinson. I think that he probably got a lot more tools given to him as far as strategy and how to get in there other than a one-man move and, all that kind of stuff. I saw him progressing last year, in my opinion. And, I think this is his second year, fellas? Is that what it is? His second year?
Yeah, this will be his second season. Yep.
Yeah. So, that's when a lot of edge rushers will start to break out. And if he starts to break out with Jalen Phillips and Bradley still kind of recovering or whatever, he could really stack up some numbers, especially with that push that we're now going to have on defense. Oh, yeah. He could be eating a lot. That's my opinion.
George?
Agree with you, Hank.
Whoa.
Chop Robinson. And partly I'll tell you why. Yes, I see a lot of Zach Sealer. I think Zach's sack totals reach his ceiling. I think Chop Robinson's sack total ceiling is around 16, 17 when everything goes right. And I'm not saying next year.
Yeah, yeah.
That's his ceiling. Again, I'm just not a shameless plug, but last week's show we did the candidates in Chop. I'll let you guys go watch that. But part of that, my homework assignment was to go watch him last year. And what he unlocked in the second half, whatever concerns I had about him coming out, you know the traits were there. The upside was special. He unlocked it in the second half. You saw the little nuances, the moves he was starting to put together, the way the tackles had to respect him, and he'd show hands, take them away, swim under, go do an in and out move, then just fake that and then go speed to power. I know I'm probably boring a lot of people with that, but like if you really watch it, you can see the moves he unlocked. And with that kind of explosion off the edge, it's as good as I've seen. Like it's better than Cam Wake almost, like to me, the first step. It's that special. And when you have that tool and you start putting those other things together, the ceiling is enormous. The question is, will he put it all together next year? That's what I don't know. But my hope is he leads this team with sack. He has the highest ceiling of sack. Like Zach Sealer, 10 sacks again, sign me up.
Yeah.
I think that's his ceiling.
So
I'll go 13 and a half sacks.
There you go. I like it. I like it.
I think it's going to be more, George.
Okay. I hope you're right, Hank.
Listen, first off, I think it's no secret how much I love Chop, and I was excited about his pick. And I think I was one of the defenders of that pick. We made it just based off what we saw in film, George, and you saw the skill set, you saw it there. The numbers didn't translate what you saw in college, but then like you said, second half of the season he unlocked what you wanted to see, and it's only going to get better from there. When I'm looking at this, first off, there's a lot of things that I'm concerned with the team, no doubt, right? But when you look at the defensive line, the edge rushers, I'm excited. I love what I see there. And, you think about the returning of Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Chop Robinson. There's a lot to like. And then you got, of course, the interior. I think that's why it's going to be Zach Sealer. I think those guys are going to open up those opportunities for Sealer to be the leading. And again, I'm not sleeping on any of those guys. I think any of those guys, I think Bradley Chubb could come in with a chip on his shoulder. He's been very vocal this offseason. We know, there's a lot of people talking. He's probably looking into a contract year, the year next year. When any team, I think he could be a surprise. Jalen Phillips, the only thing it's if I'm going to talk about Tua's health, I got to talk about Jalen Phillips. That bothers me. That concerns me. He's an elite player when healthy, I think, in return, and he could open that up. But those guys coming off the edge, teams are going to be focused on trying to protect the edge. That's going to open up the middle for Zach Sealer. I think Zach Sealer is going to be your guy, and I'm going to say 12 and a half. I'm going to be at that 12 and a half sacks for Zach Sealer this year. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
I agree with you. I think if you told me it was Chubb, you told me it was Chop, you told me it was Sealer, none of them surprised me. I just, if it's all hitting on all cylinders, Chop is, again,
and I would love it.
He's got. I will say this though, like he's also got the most risk of repeating the same thing. Like he's still got to get on the field. He's still got to get better against the run. All these things take account. But if everything hits right, I just think his potential. I think Zach Sealer is going to get you 9 to 11 every year. Like I think that is,
yes,
and that's a safe bet to be honest.
Yes,
like he's going to get you that. And
especially with Kent in there with him.
Yeah, with Grant. Yep.
I mean, Grant.
I'll just say 32 sacks.
I know our rookie, first round draft pick,
Kenneth Grant.
That guy's going to be in there.
Hey.
Oh, he better be.
Yeah, he better.
What is it, Kenneth Grant, right?
There's a problem if he's not playing starting.
No, but again, I think, I would not hate it. I'm not, I'm not saying, I just think my answer would be Zach Sealer. Yes. But I would love to see Chop Robinson do it. And I think he has the potential to do it. And I think people are going to be like, wow, how the hell did we get him at that pick?
Yeah.
How did he get to that's his talent.
Yeah. Here's my thought on this, Bobby. Let me reverb back on you, Bobby, real quick here, okay?
Okay.
We all know that everybody fans out when they go back and the quarterback goes back to pass because they want to protect that outside edge from coming in, like, you were saying. So they're going to fan out, and then Sealer and them are going to come up the middle. Absolutely right. But they're also going to close that gap in because they're not going to want those big 300 plus pound men coming in and beating up the quarterback. They will do everything to protect him. And if they continue to push with those two guys, forget about it. Forget about it. They are going to have to, at some point in time, block exactly what you're saying. And once they do, that's when I think Chop's numbers are just going to frickin' skyrocket.
Someone's numbers are going to jump for
Yes.
sure.
I don't know on which side, but you're either right with Sealer.
Look, yeah. If I was betting safe money, I would probably go Zach Sealer, like, because I know what he's going to get.
Yeah,
I'm shooting for the stars or the whatever you want to call it. I'm shooting for who do I think has the most potential to do it. Yeah. But if I'm going safe, I'm probably going with Bobby because he's right. His numbers probably only will look better this year, and he's consistent. Proven.
I would stay with Chop.
I'm sticking with Chop, but yeah.
I just think he's going to have so much more in that toolbox. And you saw how he was coming alive at the end. Oh. You explained it to all of us. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. That was his first year without an off season of true training in the NFL level.
When I think Chop, I think X Factor.
That's
yeah. And again, I would love it. I think all of us would be happy no matter who.
We'd all be happy either way. So
either way, yeah. So this is going to be an interesting one. This next one, just because, right? When we look at this defense, and maybe and George, you could tell me if you disagree, but I think we're on the same page. When you look at the defense, I think the biggest concern is the secondary. When you look at the corners, and I think safety, I would say you could have a debate that maybe it's improved from last year. I think, but who leads this team in interceptions next season?
Yeah, not a great list to choose from.
No, it's not.
I guess the answer everybody thinks we'll say is Minkah Fitzpatrick, but I would hold off on that. I'm going to go Kader Kohou. I think he'll have the most opportunity from the slot. I think he'll move around, and I think he's going to get the biggest keyword with him is opportunity. He's probably we don't know who they're going to sign, but as of right now, he's probably. Would you say their best cornerback? I would say is Kader Kohou.
Their most, I would say, consistent, right?
I mean, maybe even best. Like, who else is it? Storm Duck? I mean, I don't. Cam Smith certainly not. I just think he'll have a lot of opportunities in a lot of different spots. Like he could play outside, he could play inside. I think he's going to move around in this Anthony Weaver defense, and I think he's got a really good nose for the ball. I'm going to go Kader Kohou.
All right. Fish Tank.
I like it, but I got to disagree.
This one, I think, is a disagreeable subject.
This is, guys, let's be honest on this one, okay? This is a crapshoot if I've ever seen it before in my entire life, all right?
Yeah.
This, I don't think any of us can sit there and go, it's going to definitely be that guy. Here's my thought. You called it, George, the obvious pick, Minkah Fitzpatrick. It's simple, okay? The guy's career high, I think, was 6 interceptions in 2019, And that kind of versatility and the things that he can do, and the area that he can cover to assist those cornerbacks, he can cover that area. He can cover the extra 5-10 yards if he has to. And in Weaver's scheme, he's going to get 5+ picks, in my opinion. He will get 5+ picks. Ahead of the other safeties, we got, who is it? Dante Trader, and that's another guy. I can't say his name. But anyway.
Melifanu.
That guy.
Melly.
So, like I said, though, it could be anybody. It could be Storm Duck for all I know. Yep. But until we see the preseason, I just think Fitzpatrick has the most talent and the most capability to take advantage of Weaver's system. Bobby?
Yeah, so we wind it back to 2019, and Hank was all in on favorite Bobby McCain over Minka. Jonathan's having a blast today. So I'm going to
No,
say this.
I was pissed off with Fitzpatrick and his mom crying, but he's a Dolphins now, so I'm happy to have him.
I will say, first off, I would love nothing more than Kader Kohu leading the team in INTs, because then it would show some growth. It'll show that I think the defensive line, again, I talked about defensive line. I think the edge rushers and the D line is going to help the secondary. We don't know what we have in Jason Marshall, right? A lot of people who saw Jason Marshall come off the board when you had Zach Frazier and you had I forget his name now. There was another guy on the board that was like, oh, if we were to go defensive back, there's two guys still there. They go Jason Marshall. We don't know. He could surprise us and he could do whatever. Cam Smith, the prayer is that, yeah, he could be something, but I mean, please. It's going to be the safe pick, and maybe I'm just being safe today, but I'm going to roll with Minka. I think Minka had a down year last year in regards to turnover. He had only one interception, one forced fumble, I think. I think those numbers could pick up because he's shown in the past he can. I think he could take advantage of our defensive line. I think he's playing on a contract year. He's going to play with a chip on his shoulder, and again, it's a homecoming to say the least. So I'm going to roll with Minka Fitzpatrick. Yes, because it's safe, but also because I think I could see the advantages on defense that help a veteran guy like that and he's 29, but he's still a veteran and he plays smart. Yeah. But I could see the most consistent player in that secondary right now, default, if you want to say by default, Kader Kohu. I could see him doing that. But he had was it two last year, I think, INTs?
I don't know.
Who are we talking about?
Kader
had about 2 or 3, yeah.
2 or 3. So you got to think about who came off in front of him now, and so he has an opportunity. And hey, again, any of one of these guys could take advantage of that defensive front. But I think because Minka being who he is and being all over the field and watching the quarterback's eyes, I could see him coming away with 6 to 7 INTs this season. That's where I'm at.
I hope you're right. Definitely hope you're right.
Hey, I'm cool with any of it, but. George, I'm going to let you start this one off because you just had a show about this. And who do you see as the breakout star? And I know you did top 5, and if you want to run those down quick and then go with your ultimate one, cool. If you want to say who it is, go for it.
Who will be the breakout star? My number 1 was Chop, and for all the same reasons I just mentioned, is who I think when you say breakout star. I think Chop Robbins has the highest ceiling as anybody on this roster. Anybody. And I take into Tyreek Hill's age into consideration, but as far as top end elite, a guy you could say this is an all pro, I think he has the highest ceiling. He's the breakout star. I'd be disappointed if at the end of this season, we're not saying that about him. I just think I can't ignore what I saw in the second half last year.
Yeah.
It's people say he has one tool, but when that tool is that good, man, I'm okay with that.
It opens up a lot of other things. It opens up.
The tackles are he's already gotten them at an advantage. They're already losing their balance. They're already going because they have to. Yeah. And then he either goes speed to power or go back and watch it, the little nuances, the cadence, the pace, that stuff he didn't have before. And I don't know what to credit the coaching staff or maybe Chubb and Phillips. But when he put that all together, and then sometimes that one play, he could just beat you straight up coming off the edge, and you know where he's going. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to go Chop Robbins breakout star because I think that's the key here. If we're saying star, I'm going to go Chop.
Fish tank.
Bobby, I totally agree. However, I'm going to highlight someone else that could have a much bigger breakout than people expect. Okay?
Okay.
But I agree 100%. Chop is the man. With the people we have up the middle now, people are going to be in trouble, especially if Chubb stays healthy. And, Jalen Phillips, he's no slough if he's healthy. So, I'm going to highlight my man who nobody probably is expecting, but Jalen Wright. What?
He was
That's
up.
right.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Jalen Wright. You heard it. Because when they do all those go routes and everything else, Jalen Wright's going to be coming out of the backfield with a lot of speed after they move everybody out. They can't catch this young man. They can't. And whether you're throwing him the ball, whether he's running the ball, the guy is fast. I mean, just crazy speed. And if our offensive line forces them to come in first, he'll get past them so quickly it's not even funny. And I think with the addition of Achan and Gordon wearing them out, and then throw him in for a speed run for speed, forget about it. He could have all kinds of yards just off a secondary play because he's so fast.
He was also in the top 5 of that list.
There you go.
I'm not plugging. I swear I'm not plugging the show.
Brother, you plug away, my man. I will plug for you. Finn's Faithful Podcast. Go check them out, man. They have great stuff there. Him and Jason Sonny.
This man knows his stuff. See, I had to agree with him. I couldn't disagree with him,
Is he
Bobby.
talking about
I had
me or
to
you,
say,
Bobby? I don't know.
I had to bow down and say, "Yep, he's right, 100%." Chop Robinson.
So I like that answer. I do. I like both the answers. My answer was Chop, and I have it written Chop because Sammy says, "Stop it, George." No, I think Chop, and we talked about it earlier.
Sammy was on that show. I believe. I hope I'm right.
He doesn't even know who's on it.
Sammy, was that right?
I'm sorry, Sammy, if it wasn't you, bro.
Yeah, I believe he was on there. Yeah, he was.
No, again, for all the reasons I talked about earlier in regards even with Zach Steeler being the one with the most sacks with 12 and a half, I think that's the reason why Chop's at a breakout. We saw what he was able. Look, if you watch the college film, right, you look at the statistics, you go, man, he didn't really have those. But you watch the film, you see the talent, you see the skill set. Then you watch last year after Jalen Phillips and Chubb were there, Bradley Chubb, you saw what he was able to do. And then you could see as he progressed, he got better and better as the year went on. Think about this year. It could be even, you think about if this is breakout start for the Dolphins, this is when the year ends. We're going, this is a guy you want for years to come. If and when Jalen goes down, Chop is going to eat. He's only going to get better. Zach Sealer, Kenneth Grant, Zeke, who I think people are going to be a little surprised with, those guys are just going to open it up for Chop Robinson. I'm still with Zach Sealer leading the team in sacks, but Chop Robinson's going to be hard to ignore for Miami. And I think I'm with you guys. I think breakout star for the Dolphins, breakout star around the league. Yeah. This is just me thinking because I want to say, but it's like, he's not a breakout star for them because even though I've seen some people say he's an average back, whatever, which I think is BS. But by the end of this year, people are going to be talking about this guy all over. It's be Devon Achane. I think Achane's going to have a great year this year.
Oh yeah,
I'm very excited about Devon Achane this season.
Yeah, because he kind of fits in. Is he a star or not? It's
exactly somewhere around the league. I know what he is for Miami, but I think
it doesn't seem like When I thought of that, it didn't come to name. But now when you mention it like that, it's true.
That's why I wanted to say Devon Achane, but I'm like, but for us, to me, he's a star already. But like, I go, okay, I'm going to say breakout star for the league. I'm going Devon Achane, but I know a lot of people might say, oh, Devon Achane. Well, I think it's because I've had arguments last year, George and Hank, and I'll say with Evan and the other, he's a mid-tier back, or whatever. And I was like, dude, we're talking about overall player, and as an overall player, he's an elite playmaker for Miami. He's one of the most consistent guys next to Janu.
You said I argued that with you?
No, I'm telling. I said Evan.
My bad.
No, yeah, I didn't say you. But anyway, I can see him being a breakout star around the league, and maybe for some Dolphin fans. Greg Murphy from UCLA. I'm with you, Raphael. I think he could be a surprise. I'm really looking forward to seeing him in camp.
Bobby.
Yeah.
All those guys you mentioned on that defensive line. I hope we're all as right as we think we are. I hope that your people pushing that middle up get as many sacks as our people and getting around the corner.
I'll say this: they better, because that secondary. Again, they could sign somebody, but I don't know if it's Asante Samuel Jr. now, but
oh geez.
Again, I think people overstating that. I don't think it means as much to him.
No, I
signing,
don't.
Yeah.
No, just let it
anyways,
be.
that's another topic.
That's another conversation on another day. Hank, I'll stick with you on this one, and George, you follow up.
Yep.
The rookie to have the biggest impact for Miami next year.
That's going to be Grant, man. It's going to be Grant. I think he's going to be like one of the people, first rounder. He's going to start early in the season. Him pushing up the middle with Zach Sealer. That's just going to have a massive impact on Sealer's ability to get back there, because then Sealer, all he has to concentrate on is getting after the quarterback, because we know Grant can stop the run. We already all know that. So having two of them pushing up the middle, one of them definitely can stop the run, So that bolsters the interior. It adds, the biggest thing we were weak in was run defense, in my opinion. We were bad on run defense still last year. But, all things considered, we did a heck of a lot better than we have before, too. So
there you go, Kenneth Grant. All right.
Yeah, I like your answer. It's pretty clear. It's probably one of the first two picks. I'm going to go on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Jonah Savianea. I think that's how.
I love that, man.
Because I think if we want them to accomplish, and teaser on Monday's show, we're going to be talking about how to enhance this offense and some of the ways. We'll have Curtis Ace per head on. He's an analytics guy. He gives you all the numbers and stuff. So again, Monday at 7:30, we'll have that. But I just think if you want to accomplish the philosophy and the culture change or change of the way this team is viewed on offense, he's going to be a huge essential part of it. And remember, Grant's coming in for Campbell. He's coming in for Liam Eichenberg or Robert Jones. So I think you'll notice maybe the difference if it works. You're going to notice, and they need him to come in early and not only be good in pass pro, but also move people in the run game, just be that thick, athletic build, and change kind of the way this team is viewed on the offensive line. I'm a huge fan of his, and I just think when we look at the most impact of how this team can change, I think on the offensive line is where it needs to happen, and he's an integral cog of that, him and James Daniels. So I'm going to go the rookie offensive lineman.
Okay. Let me say something about that real quick, Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to outperform both of those starters you mentioned, Eichenberg and whoever it was.
So. Yeah.
And I think he will be our starter. I believe he will be a starter day one, him and Grant.
No,
and if not the first week, I don't see him taking much longer than the second or third, in my opinion. But
yeah,
go ahead, George. You want to answer? Daniel?
Yeah, he's Daniel asked if he's worried about Jonah holding up. No, I think that whole contract that Higgins, the wide receiver for the Texans, got the second round pick thing. It'll get figured out. He'll be in. I think hopefully within this next week they get him in. Yeah, he doesn't need to miss time. He'd be crazy to do that.
So I love both your answers. I think they're right on the money in regards of why they should be which rookie would have the biggest impact. I'll say Kenneth Grant. We're talking about what the D line is to be able to do for each other. I think Kenneth Grant is going to be a big part of that. I think Zeke Biggers has an opportunity to be something like that as well. Rotational defensive lineman. I was banging the table for Jonah throughout the draft process. He was my top offensive lineman. So when we got him, I was excited. I am excited. I cannot wait to see what he can be and what he can do. But I'm going to, since you guys went two different ways, I'll go a third different way. And I'm going to go Ollie Gordon. I'm going to say Ollie Gordon, because if we're talking about what this offense taking a step forward and doing something that it wasn't able to do last year. I think Ollie could give you that. I know we're talking about Jalen Wright and we talked about Devon Achane, but what he can do in terms of size, running the ball in the red zone and the third down, and also as a receiver, I think will have the biggest impact, because what he can do for not only Tua as a safety valve, but also what he could open up for Devon Achane, what he can do for the receivers. I would roll with Ollie Gordon as the rookie who could have the biggest impact. And I'm going a different route because I think Kenneth Grant's a great answer, Jonah. I think Ollie Gordon could be that guy. I think the ingredients are there.
I wasn't even thinking Gordon. That's a great one, bro.
So running backs usually aesthetically too will have an impact. It's easier to see. You know what I mean? Visually. Right,
but we've seen it before, right? Yeah. You think about Jay Ajayi back in the day when nobody was paying attention, and all of a sudden Ajayi came out of nowhere. And look what he did for Miami that season. And I'm not saying Ollie's that guy or the other.
Running backs, running backs, you can get in the late round, they can be productive. It's not 100%. It's a position. It's not like you're taking a quarterback in round 6. A running back in the 5th or 6th round nowadays is.
Exactly.
It can make an impact. Yeah.
And he is going to have such a huge impact on that secondary being forced to stay up. They're not going to be able to just all come up and cover Tyreek Hill and all this other crap. They're not going to have a choice. You are so right, Bobby. He could have such a huge impact, both, like you said, those short yardage, passing out of the backfield for touchdowns. He could be used in so many facets. It's not even funny. And he can have a significant impact for everybody, including our defense. And the reason I say that is because we'd get to 3rd and short and wouldn't keep going. He will let that defense rest up too. So I agree, Bobby.
There you go. So this one, I would, the way I want to ask this one, I know how I have it. I said, which player might disappoint or regress this year? I would say, because I don't want us to say it and people, oh, you said they were going to suck. I'm going to say, which player do you fear might disappoint or regress this year? I'm going to ask it like that.
Nah, I don't like that.
No, you want to have to answer it. So, Hank, we'll start with you. Yeah. Which player do you fear?
Bobby, I really appreciate you, bro.
Or regress this year.
Oh crap!
He goes, "Oh crap!" It's all
Bobby.
Right. Yeah.
There ain't too much a military man fears, my friend.
Okay.
However,
I like Daniel's answer.
Yeah.
Might disappoint or regress this year. Well, unfortunately, this always comes down to injury. So, that's what I thought in the back of my mind is who might be injured that we need kind of close to the most. Obviously not the quarterback. That's a given. So I said to myself, if we don't change out Chop and Phillips with Chubb, who might not be there enough, who's aging, multiple injuries. He's around 30. I think he could dip even further. We're going to have increased pressure on our edge to rush the quarterback. Okay. We all know that. That's going to come. And if Bradley Chubb can't let those other two rest by going in, some of the times, at least let the 2 young guys go after it, but they need him for that very, reason. And I have a feeling he might disappoint because he just might get torn up through the season,
Okay.
and I think that he could be the flip side of that too. He could be one of the biggest impacts. So right now it's hard to tell, but his health, that's what I took into consideration the most when I thought about that.
Is that me?
Yes, sir.
I wanted to go to the offensive line, but I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not touching it. I'm hoping. I'm keeping a good juju there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to
the
give an
thought
answer that some
process.
people, fans might not like. They might be a little mad at me about, but I'm going to go the guy we just acquired,
Ah,
Minka Fitzpatrick.
Ooh,
yeah.
okay. I like it
Now,
because it's risky. I like that.
yeah,
All right.
I'm not afraid to take risk.
I know.
I have conviction on something. I say it. Now, look, I will say this. I think because all the fans in their head are thinking the 23, 24-year-old Minka Fitzpatrick went to Pittsburgh, became an all-pro. He's declined a little bit the last few seasons. And I always take a look at the organization that trades me a player. Why are they giving him up? Right? When Kansas City trades me a player, when, now the Florida Panthers, when Bill Zito trades me a player, I look at it on the other end, why are they giving it up? And I look at that and say, wow, we traded Jalen Ramsey and we traded Jonah and we got Minka Fitzpatrick back. Now
Absolutely.
the Anthony Weaver defense might help him to change the scenery,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he'll have a good season. But I think fans in their head have this all-pro player in their head, and that's what I mean by he'll disappoint. I don't think he'll be bad. I just think he'll be solid, and we're expecting a little bit more. Don't be surprised. I think those things we got to take into consideration. I might not be liked for that, but that's just my honest opinion. That's what I always give. And Minka Fitzpatrick.
Well, George, I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers, like you said, traded him for a reason, first off. And, the reason I think that they did trade him was because they didn't have proper support around him to keep him there, is my honest opinion. I think he still has that talent. I think his diminished numbers, I guess we could call it, I think that's a direct reflection of the Pittsburgh Steelers secondary to begin with. Um, and I think us getting him, like I said, he covers more ground than anybody else, any of our other safeties. And I'm hoping him and Kohu are on the same side. That's what I'm hoping because the two of them might have the ability to shut that one side down. Then all your risks is on the other side. I don't know how they're going to play it out. I don't know what Weaver's going to do, but he should fit right in with Weaver. And I see him getting 5+. Now, is that disappointing to people? I don't know how disappointing it could be. I mean, if he gets 3 or something yeah, I'd be pretty disappointed.
So, the guy the guy I'm about to say, I think he's been teetering a little bit this year. He has so much potential, and I still think that if given the opportunity, if the guy who's in front of him gets bounced, gets moved, I think this player could live up to what we thought he could be once. But the player I fear who could be a disappointment and regress this year, and I love this guy, and if this guy does great, awesome. I have all, but the one I fear could do that, I'm going to say Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
I think Jalen Waddle,
Yeah.
that and just because of what we've seen the last couple of years, it's kind of been teetering. I mean, you could still see the potential you see when, but then you also see some things where you're like, the hell was that? That's
Yeah.
And between the injuries and the drops and everything else, it's just, he's one guy. I love the Minka answer because it's risky because it's true, right? You look at that secondary, you're like, oh, easy answer, Minka. He's gonna be the lead guy back there. Yeah. But that question of, but why? But why was he traded? Why did they give up on him so fast? And he could totally be a disappointment. We're like, oh, we got Minka, and all of a sudden
and I'll say this: it's not that I don't think he'll play good. It's the expectations we have for him.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like Jalen Waddle.
Then, it's sort of like Waddle. Yeah, it's sort of like
everybody's brains go through the roof when you get a decent player.
And then if he's just solid, an alternate Pro Bowler, and not this guy who has 7 interceptions and all pro and considered the best safety in football.
Yeah.
I think that's what people have in their head about him. And he ends up with 4 picks and he's like really good. solid, again, he's going to be an upgrade. Not to mean to cut you off, Bob.
No,
he's going
you're
to be
good.
an upgrade. He's going to be an upgrade over. I mean, it's hard
100%.
not to be an upgrade when we have access. I guess I answered the question. It's kind of, I'm looking more of based on expectation. Who will slide the up or down the most of meeting it?
Well, and my thing is too, the way I think about it, and I think you're right on the way I say Jalen Waddle, because we during the season I think our expectations are kind of moot on Waddle, but every year before the season, last couple of years, we're like, oh, Jalen Waddle's going to have 1,200 yards, he's going to have 1,000 yards, and it ends up not being the case, and you end up going, damn, dude, what's up? So I think this might, I fear, I don't want to say I think because I have expectations. I fear this could be the year we're finally going, yeah, okay, I'm done with Waddle. He's not the number one guy. If we trade Tyreek, we're gonna have to get another guy to be the lead guy. I think that could be where we're headed, and if or that's why I fear we may be headed. Who's your dark horse Pro Bowl pick for the Dolphins this year? Janu was one last year. Who's your dark horse Pro Bowl pick that nobody's talking about?
Should I start or?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Aaron Brewer.
Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna go. I think the guards next to him are better this year. That'll help him, and I just think he fits this offense to a T. What they do. The only concern I have is it becomes more of an inside zone team. Will still be as effective, but if you give me sleeper dark horse, I'm gonna go Aaron Brewer. I think he's got better players around him this year.
I like that.
Hank, I guess is you're up.
Okay. I was having a hard time with this one, guys. I really was.
Yeah, I get it.
And I was like, I believe wherever Fitzpatrick goes, that cornerback on either side, whoever it is, their abilities are going to increase. Like if it's Kohu, I think he will get a lot more recognition from Fitzpatrick's play, in my opinion. And I think he could be our true dark horse on a very scattered secondary.
Interesting.
Dark horse Pro Bowl player.
You know what the problem? The roster is like top heavy or bottom. It's like there's not a lot of these middle ground guys.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing.
That's the problem. I see a couple good ones in the chat, though.
No, I do too. I do too, and that's where
I can't see the chat.
It's on the screen. It's on the screen.
Where?
Yeah. Brooks, I don't know if it's that much of a would be a surprise, but Jalen Wright.
Oh, that's too small for me to see, bro.
Damn.
Sorry, I just don't have glasses on.
It's okay.
And it's like this big for.
It's okay.
I'm gonna start putting you on my iPad. Is what I'm gonna do.
That's what you need to do. No, I'm gonna stay. I don't know if that's a dark horse. I want to say Sealer, but I don't think that's a dark horse. I got to go riskier.
Yeah.
You motivated after Raimika. Now we got to go risky.
Yeah, I know. That is like,
yeah, I thought long and hard about it. Brewer's the name I came up, but
ever since I met George and started talking with him, he always challenges me. I can't say anything, and he goes, "But Bobby, think about this." It's like, damn it, George.
I'm glad. I didn't know that. I'm glad to hear that. You're saying feelings.
Hey, there's nothing better when I say something. George goes, "Whoa, I didn't expect that." It's like, I love it. I'll play it safe. F it. I don't care. George can judge me. No,
sometimes you have to.
I'm gonna say Zach Sealer, bro.
Sometimes you have to, though.
What?
If you can't just say a name because you don't feel it.
No, bro. No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Zach Sealer. I think Zach Sealer is good. It's gonna make. I think he'll be our dark horse Pro Bowl player this year. I think he's I'm excited for him this season.
So, a little weak. It is a little weak, Bobby. I would say.
Oh, you're see
that is extreme.
Whatever, bro. Whatever.
That's beyond freaking weak.
He led me into
That's
it
a given. That's a freaking given.
No, it's actually not a given.
He hasn't made the Pro Bowl.
He will be with many others on that defensive line.
I'm going to roll with Aladino, Patrick Paul. That's my risky pick.
There you go.
We'll go
I like
Paul.
that
Thanks,
one.
Aladino.
I like that one. I
Aladino
met that
stepping up.
young man.
Yes.
He's very, very kind to people.
He's a good
Patrick.
dude.
I don't know if I want to hear that in my offensive tackle. That he's very, very kind. Let's not lead off with that.
He's a big, scary man, though.
Yeah.
That's true.
He is a big man.
Oh, he's definitely big. Yeah.
Okay. What's something wild you think happens this year, Hank?
Something wild, like a bold prediction, or
Yeah.
all right. Here's my bold prediction, folks. The Dolphins are going to win the AFC East. I know. And host a playoff game. Ending their divisional drought since 2008. Fueled by a healthier defense, a more formidable force coming around the outsides and pushing up the middle. That is going to help our secondary get lots of interceptions off of those quarterbacks. They're going to be in such a rush, it's not funny. Like my man said, Chop is fast. His first step is his best.
Bobby, when he's pointing to you, does he mean me? I don't know.
No, I pointed this way.
That's the.
You're
Are you
pointing
trying
at
to
me,
point
Hank.
to me? It's the other way. Yeah,
There you
that
go.
way.
So,
Because I don't know. Yeah, I was like, is he talking about Bobby or me?
and here's the other part.
Okay.
Tua, because of our offensive line improvement, being an MVP caliber player, which he will be, that all comes into my accounts. I think that's where we're at. I think that is what can actually happen if this team puts it together on offense and defense. And our biggest thing on offense was we couldn't move the ball 3 yards. Biggest thing on defense, we couldn't stop the run. Patch and patch, it's done. Our secondary, as far as our corners go, have been pretty much depleted. Yes. But we have other players that we brought in to help that situation. Now, it's not a perfect one. We all know that. But those are my bold predictions. I truly believe this team will be better than they were in 2023, whichever best year they had. I think it was 23. I think they're going to play like that again, except better when we get toward the end.
I have to admit, for some reason, I glossed over this question. I didn't see it, so now I started thinking as Hank was answering that. I missed that. I didn't. Bad homework. No, I get a C plus. A couple of things come to my head. I'm gonna say this: Dolphins lead the league in total sacks this year.
Ooh.
I love it.
There you go.
I love it.
I mean, that's not wild. Like wild is like McDaniel doesn't come back from the flight to Madrid. You know what I mean? Like that's wild. Which also could happen.
Okay, let me just first off 2 things. And, George and I have not talked in a while. We haven't. We get a little bit, but he does this. So as he says, he doesn't do his homework. Comes up with a really good one, and then he goes, a wild one would be, and that was mine. I was sorry, McDaniel doesn't survive the season, and George just totally took it.
I apologize.
Can you imagine a show with me and George? I mean, he'll just be like, "Why am I here, George?"
Let's not give any ideas. Let's not get any ideas.
So first off, I love it. The Dolphins leading the league in sacks total, that would be amazing, right? And again, if we're hyping up this D-line as much as we are, it should be. Jonathan says Dolphins lead the league in yards. I love it. But again, I know. Look, we all said
lead the league in yards. lead the league in sacks. Sounds like what I've been saying.
Well, we all said too that we project the team would be 9-8, right?
Yeah, we'll see at the end of this.
Okay.
We're 13
every week.
and
Hank is
4
going to update his schedule.
Yeah.
Every week Hank updates updates his record, but that's okay. What I'm going to say is, I stay with it until the end, and I'm going to say that, again, a lot hangs on to his health. A lot. We've seen this team go up and down. They go on spurts. They get dry and they stay dry. Yeah, something that wild I think could happen this year is Mike McDaniel does not finish this season. Greer might.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel, I could see not finishing.
People think I'm
season.
crazy when I say that because just because Greer, they don't see Greer leaving. I think you're two separate. Just look how they moved this offseason. They're two separate entities here. It's not tied together as much as everybody thinks.
So I should just let you. The next question, whenever I'm asked, I'm going to say, George, what's my answer? George, go. Let's see if George can do it. No, but I love it. I love it. Ooh, Craig, I like that one. We sweep the Bills. All right.
I thought of that too. I did think
really
of that one. As I'm sitting here listening to the Hank's diatribe of what his answer was, I was thinking, gosh, I gotta get that caught me out of nowhere. I gotta get a couple things in my head. And it's funny enough, one of the last ones is we sweep the Bills. So yeah.
I told Bobby I was coming in with some crazy stuff
man,
today. I told him to be ready.
You're ready. So which player, not named Tua Tyreek Waddle, will be the most important to the team's success this season?
Is that me?
Yes, George. We'll start with you and then Fish Tank.
I hope I don't answer.
See, he gave me a nice reprieve this time. He gave me a nice little reprieve, put me up with a drink on an island with some sun.
The answer is Patrick Paul.
Ooh, okay.
Because he is the key to, we're placing Teron Armstead here. So, I wasn't a fan of Patrick Paul coming out, but I've warmed up to him.
Yeah.
Because some of the strength that he plays with and the length is just some of the things I worried about in college still happens in the NFL, and he kind of gets away with it sometimes. So I'm like, man, maybe it's just he's that physically gifted. But yeah, I think the offensive line success, and we improved the interior, I believe, and now that big hole at left tackle, like we say the old line's improved, but if Patrick Paul's a turntable there, we're going to be in trouble. So I think he's the most important piece here to complete that offensive line and kind of be the hub and gel it together. Yeah. You said not named because I see people saying Tua's health, but you said not named Tua, Waddle, or Hill. Obviously, Tua's health is the obvious answer.
No Tua, no Waddle, no Hill, folks.
Yeah. I'll go Patrick Paul. Glad to know Bobby wasn't on the same page there.
That was an awesome freaking pick, man. It really was. I went another direction.
Wait, Hank speechless there? Well, that's that was a good pick.
That was much better than the direction I went.
No, who knows?
So, Bobby, I always say it starts and ends with the quarterback, how well the team will do overall. But that's not who we're talking about. We're not talking about those kind of players. We're talking about the kind of players that are going to completely change how our team has been playing. I think the impact of that middle defensive line with Grant is going to be the most important and impactful by not being able to stop people with that 2 to 3 yards where they just run it right up on us and go past us. I think his dedication and I like that, man. I think he's going to do great things for us.
Why do I think I know where Bobby's going here?
Do it. I would love
to say chop.
No. Try. Because I'm going to be honest. I was going one way, and I see you in a way, and then
Hank got me an idea when I thought he was starting off with something. I kind of liked it when he started. And that'd be Zach Wilson, because if the quarterback goes down, if Tua goes down, he is the most important. But you weren't going Zach Wilson, right?
Not at
Okay,
all.
go ahead.
Not at all.
But you made me think for a second that what has been the Dolphins' problem?
It's true.
The last,
That's fair.
not the offensive line, it's the backup quarterback's been really bad.
Yep.
So there's an argument. You made me think. I thought that's where you were going, Hank. I was going to give you your props, and then you went to Kenneth Grant in the middle. But all right, Bobby,
props,
I'm
Hank.
yeah, I'm taking it away.
Hank, damn it, you idiot! You had it and you lost.
All right, Bobby, go
ahead.
Look, I love the Patrick Paul and Jonah 7A answer. It's absolutely true and fair. And obviously their impact on the offensive line is right on, especially more with the running game than it is with Tua. I'm just going to be very honest. Again, Tua gets himself hurt more than the offensive line did it. But it's a guy I talked about earlier. It's a guy that, George brings up great points to be concerned with. But when we look at that defense, we look at that secondary, we look at the defensive backs, we look at the safety situation. And I think that the player that will be most important to the team's success is going to be in that secondary. And I'm going to roll with the guy who is a Pro Bowl player. I'm going to go with Minkah Fitzpatrick.
I'll be back, Bobby.
Yes, sir. You look at what Jalen Ramsey, remember that when Jalen Ramsey was hurt when he first came on and the Vic Fangio defense wasn't that great, it's kind of like, what's going on? As soon as Jalen Ramsey came in with that chip, the defense all of a sudden took a turn. It started going top 10. It looked really good. I think Minkah Fitzpatrick could have that type of impact. I think he knows, coming back to the team that drafted him, he knows the vibe that it was when he left. He's trying to respond to because I'm sure people are asking the same question you are, George, and I think he's aware of that. and he's leading the Zach Wilson train, is he, Sammy? And but I'm gonna roll with Minkah Fitzpatrick, man, because I we look at the Tuas and the Tyreeks and the Waddles and even Devon Achane. I love Devon Achane. I got his autograph. I got him. I'm so excited. Shout out to Whatnot.
Nice.
Yeah, shout out to Whatnot, man. I was like, it's like right in the bell. I was like, I'm doing it. That's and I got it pretty cheap. So I love Devon Achane. And I think he'll have a great year. But I think, we've seen how good those guys could be, and we saw how far Miami got with them. I think Minkah Fitzpatrick is going to be the most important player, other than the guys we named, the obvious names, to the team's success. If he could be who he once was, or he could be what we can hope he will be and what he can do for those other guys, I'm going to go with Minkah Fitzpatrick. Yeah, Whatnot is awesome.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. Is that
it's an application. So so I'll tell you. So for me, my brother introduced me to it because I got into trading cards and I got cards and stuff. And what it is, it's an app. And and people trade. They sell trading cards, autographs, merchandise, jerseys. I got a Tyreek jersey for $20 I got from there. So they put the jersey and they say, hey, Tyreek jersey stitched. And so people start bidding, on a dollar, and you keep going.
Okay.
And then of course you go as high as you want. There's been Ric Flair autographs, or they have everything on there.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, man. I'll send you the link.
Okay,
it's really cool. I always stay like in the $20. I never go crazy. Hank, buy stuff from there. But yeah, I got a Devon Achane autograph fish tank from Whatnot, and I had a it's legit. Got the saw where
even if it's not legit, it looks good anyways.
Yeah, right. I know. No, I want it to be legit, but it was really cool. So I love
for
Whatnot.
$20, even if it's not legit, it's not
I
bad.
got some really good stuff, man. I got a jersey, like I saw it one time. I was like, that's crazy. A Puerto Rican jersey with Melendez on. Of course, it's another Melendez, but it's like, hey, I'm gonna get
that's cool, man.
But they got everything: jerseys, merch, autographs, trading cards. They got everything. Fish tank buys art. There's a lot of stuff on there, and it's really cool.
Definitely.
I'll send it to you, bro.
All right.
Anyway, but yeah, I'm rolling with Minkah Fitzpatrick as the the player who can make the most important to the team's success. I got a ton of signed helmets. Yeah, man, you get some great deals on Whatnot. Hank, I'm gonna. So before we get to that, we'll finish with that. We'll skip a couple here, but first off, I have to ask you. We'll start with this one. Because now that you say they might change at the end of the show, I was going to skip that question, but because we all said 9 and 8 at the top.
But
so
you want to come back to it so you can.
Now that you said that, we're going to come back.
Show, right?
But
you want to come back and go to it now so you can beat me up for the show, right?
Wrap it up that way. So I'm going to start with George on this one, and then this will be a two-parter, George. we've
I
heard a
didn't know
lot
we had
about
a
culture
two-parter.
change. Well, it's the last two. It's a two-parter. We'll just connect them together, George, because you
Yes,
can
sir.
answer one and then finish what it was my prediction, but
Yeah.
but we've heard a lot about culture change in Miami. There's going to be a culture change. Everybody's highlighting it. One player said they lied last year that, there's going to be a culture change, but we were lying. That's not true. Miami's still banging that table. They're saying we're going to be different this year. You have those little tidbits coming out from the organization that, there's a real culture change going on in the organization. Do you think Coach McDaniel could lead a culture change in Miami? And do you think he could do that and survive the season?
No and no.
There you go.
We say it on our show. We joke around. He's a substitute teacher.
Yep.
When does the substitute teacher cultivate a classroom and become your real teacher? What's the difference when you go to school? Think about it when you went to class and you had a substitute teacher.
Yeah.
You like the guy, but you're throwing paper airplanes. I didn't have phones when I was in middle school and stuff. You're doing other stuff. You're writing letters to your buddy or the girl you liked. Then when the teacher comes back who's the son of a gun, who's going to make you call your parents and send you to the principal's office, you don't do that anymore. I think they like him. I think they're going to try. But I think the bottom line is Mike McDaniel's personality is already set in stone and cemented with the organization. I've said this. He came to the Miami Dolphins as the head coach of Tua Tagovailoa, not the Miami Dolphins. Mm-hmm. And now you have to cross the sideline and lead men. You have to be respected, but also liked and feared, all in this fine line, kind of this perfect storm. I think he's liked. I'm not sure he's respected or feared. And a culture change is just, and not all him. A culture change starts from the top, and I think that's the biggest problem. I think they're going to give it a go. They tried with this draft. I think they're going to be more physical on the field. I think it starts on the field. I think that's where they'll make the most waves. I think they're more physical. I like what they've done on the field. But can Mike McDaniel lead it? No. Now you're asking me if Anthony Weaver can lead it? That's a different question. And I don't think Anthony Weaver's a guarantee if McDaniel leaves. But my short answer would be, I just don't know if he has it in him to lead men, to lead on both sides of the ball. You just can't be cool with the quarterback and the receivers. You got to be cool with the defensive tackles, the linebackers, the corners, all of it. You got to cross the line of scrimmage. I'm not sure if he's that guy. So, no.
Hank?
Okay. I think I'm all right at leadership. There's many different styles of leadership. And you have to go based on the talent of your staff. There's many different directions you can take in training them and teaching them what needs to happen without being aggressive or anything else. I understand this is a dominant sport with all alpha males. But I'm going to say yes to your first question. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
He's already installed an innovative, player-friendly environment emphasizing accountability after 2024's late collapse. Okay. Important veteran departures are a huge part of this change while they infuse younger players, and he's poised to foster a tougher, more resilient culture focused on finishing strong. And the reason why is because he's turning the reins over to the veterans to ensure personal accountability. Again, using his staff properly to assist him. That was a great move by him, in my opinion. That was a completely great move. And it's because, it takes a true leader to assess his own performance and realize that those vets will take the team much further than he can. He knows that. We all know that. Like we said, he's the second guy coming up. He's the substitute teacher. That's fine. He can be that and still lead those guys. But he has to get the important people on the team first to believe in what he's saying and distribute it. Now, he only has to get 5 people to buy in to what he wants. And this can all change for the entire team. Because after you got rid of the veterans that were unhappy, what are you left with? Mostly a lot of young players that are ready to work as hard as they possibly can. Now you have the leaders that are left, and they're talking to them about their failures throughout the year and what stopped them from making it, and giving them an education in what direction they need to go, which is a huge asset to all of us. Okay? So, that was my first opinion. And my second opinion, will Mike McDaniel survive the season? Yes. Once again, another yes. Despite, we all know he's on the hot seat. We know that flame is touching his butt right now and singeing some hairs, and that's in all the wrong places. So, you look at this thing and the odds. I talked about the odds earlier. And he's plus 300 odds right now to be the first coach fired. That's decent odds. Stephen Ross has committed to him through 2025, as we all know. A playoff berth, however, would secure his position, and early signs, for me, are going to point to that progress on how the team responds early, and we'll know right away what's going on. I think we're going to see, if we don't see the change in preseason to some degree, then we know we got big problems. But, he's taken the leadership style where he doesn't force things on people. That's fine. That's okay. You can do that, but you've got to have somebody enforcing those rules and regulations and everything else that they'll respect and listen to. It's that simple. And as long as he gets those 5 or 6 guys, there's not going to be a problem with that whole culture change. That's what I think.
So I already answered. Do I think, my prediction was that, or my wild prediction, whatever you want, bold prediction, is that he won't survive the season. George, I love that you said that, because that's where I'm headed, or where I stand on that. It's very hard to be the friend and to be buddy, and then demand everybody, we're cool, dude. When Tyreek Hill walked off the field last year, quit on his team,
Mm-hmm.
His coach, his teammates were all like, what are you doing? That showed enough about how the team and the veteran leadership respect their coach. I think if you would have got rid of him, I think, Hank, you're right on the money. I think, with Tua and maybe the younger guys, Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, whatever, maybe they, then they could have stood with Jalen Phillips and said, hey guys, this is our new identity. We're rolling with this. Let's respect, you still got Tyreek there. It's hard for players to be buddy. And then all of a sudden now it's like, okay, salute. He's our guy.
Yeah.
I think Miami can be fun. It's a fun team. I think they're going to be more physical. They kind of drafted in that thing. But I think when the going gets tough and there's that struggling factor, you're going to see, they're going to have that honeymoon period. We're going to see the honeymoon period early on, right?
Yep.
They're all lovey-dovey. Oh my goodness. Look, as soon as the team struggles, that's when we're going to find out how much Mike McDaniel is respected, how much his team fights for him.
Yeah.
Yep. That first 3-game losing streak is where the test
that's where we're going to figure that out.
Yep.
And I've seen enough the past couple of years that won't be the case.
Yeah.
So no, McDaniel, can't see. And I think the substitute teacher thing, because it's true, when you got a leader or somebody, right, like, hey man, let's all hang out. You don't really have to work, dude. Here, have fun here. Let's put on a movie. But now you're guess what? That teacher, your main teacher who you were afraid of, he's gone. Now your substitute teacher is your real teacher. George, open that book. Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. What?
Well,
Put your head down.
Man.
What are you talking? You know what I'm saying? You lost that already. I can't see it. I just don't see it. I would love to see it.
It's difficult. It's difficult.
But it's a tough
apply it to your everyday life. Like at work. Have you had jobs?
Yeah, exactly.
Where you knew, hey, my boss is this guy's coming in today. Oh man, my day's going to be pretty easy. I can just kind of, let's say you're, a teenager working in retail. We've all done that, right?
Yep.
One of your boss coming in, I'm on my phone. This, or no, or whatever job. You can apply it to your everyday life.
Yeah,
it's true.
And then you get the guy who comes in and walks to the door like, oh man, this is going to be a rough day. This day is going to be tough. And you have to have, again, Hank says people have different styles, but there has to be a minimum of that kind of fear and respect to kind of lead a culture, I think. And the only saving grace for him is one thing Hank mentioned is that a lot of these guys are young now.
Yes.
But how do the guys who are coming back feel about Coach McDaniel? We don't know that. Even the guys who are coming back, how does Tua still feel about him? Like, I don't know the answer to that. So again, I'm kind of more leaned. Sorry to cut you off, Bobby. I'm more leaned, I think, on your side than this.
No,
than Hank.
And I'll say again, that doesn't.
Can I interject here?
Yeah, let me finish this point here. In regards to like how maybe I don't know about a culture change, but friends could work sometimes too. It's like, hey man, listen, I need you to be on the right page. Blah 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 blah. Now, this is where maybe McDaniel could do that. If he sees someone like a Tyreek start to stray off, and he says, hey Tyreek, you know what? Go sit down. Just go sit down. Let's roll with Jalen and Nick. Then that's when players might go, oh damn, oh okay, he has balls, man. I like that. Standing up to another that then you might see a change. He could still be, but it's we're gonna have the honeymoon period. But as soon as you see the struggles, that's when you're gonna know. And again, Miami has shown when the struggles come, they can't survive it. And I think that's why I just can't see it. But go ahead, Hank.
Okay. And that's what I'm saying about, leadership. You have to maintain balance between discipline for necessary things like meetings and whatever that they're supposed to be on time to. These are very young gentlemen, some of them. And that's why I said, if he has 6 people, 3 on each side, they are the people that George is talking about that come in every day, that they go, oh crap, he's here.
Well, I don't think there's 6 people. I don't think anybody feels like. I don't think anybody feels like, even if they're in his corner, I don't think anybody feels like that about him. That'd be my point. Even the people in his corner.
Well, that's what I say. I mean, but it's a good point. Like, and that's what I think. If he would have got rid of Tyreek, he could have gone to, we know Tua, right? He goes to Tua, goes to Jalen, maybe Jalen Phillips on the other, and says, hey guys, or whatever on the defensive side. Hey guys, I'm going to need you with this. Like, you got Minkah Fitzpatrick on the other side, right? He doesn't have a relationship with Coach McDaniel. McDaniel could start off a new. How does he build that relationship? How Minkah only has 1 year in his deal. Darren Waller. Waller's not going there because of McDaniel. He's going there because of Frank Smith. You talk about the rap entertainment thing. He retired. He comes back. That's not like to me. If you really wanted to try to do that, instead of going after Darren Waller, you stick with what you have with guys you have experience with in the undrafted frame, or you go get a young guy like a Michael Mayer or a Kyle Pitts, a guy that's still young that would like, man, I love this coach. I'm gonna bust my ass for it. No, you get a guy who is already outside the league, who showed where his priorities are. Not saying he can't do something, come in the league and be, oh my God, he's amazing. But look, this is another Odell, Will Fuller situation, in my opinion, with Darren Waller. I don't have any high expectations. Nope. I love if he surprised me, but I don't. This team does not have the work they've done in regards of free agent has not shown a team that's going, oh, we're really going to lead a culture change. They don't have it.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Because the elephant in the room is no longer the elephant in the room, folks. They didn't have to trade away Tyreek Hill like you guys think. Tyreek Hill has put himself in a box, personally and professionally. He will either perform or be gone, and he knows that. He understands that 100%. And all of his antics and everything else that he's been doing are going to force him to be professional, at least on the field. And I think those other players, and some of them are pretty damn big, will make sure that Tyreek stops whatever it is amongst the team. Now, his actions, I understand. Everybody says he quit on the team. Well, for me, I saw a gentleman that was so ticked off, he couldn't stand it anymore, and he wanted to get the hell off the field. Regardless of what anybody said to him at that time, he felt like he worked his butt off and things didn't happen. Now, it might have been because of his injury. I don't know. I really don't know. He should have never did what he did. And you guys are right. That starts with the coach. But that was one incident, not multiple. Not multiple.
Well, there's also 52 other guys who did the same thing on that team and didn't quit.
Yes.
And let's be honest, he didn't have
I'm not saying it was good or okay.
Sometimes to lead a change, you got to make decisions that are tough and actually are not beneficial for you on the field. And I think that's what Bobby's talking about with the Tyreek Hill. You're sending a message. This is not going to be tolerated anymore. Mm-hmm. I was your friend for the first 3. This is year 4 for McDaniel now. So, change is going to be difficult for him. This is not his second year. So you would have sent a message like, look, he's our best player. I'm telling you that, guys. He's our best player. We just got rid of him because this is not acceptable behavior going forward that I'm going to tolerate for this organization. And not only Mike, again, the front office. They didn't do that. Do I have any doubt that Tyreek Hill's the best player in this team? No. Do I believe he's going to have a good season? Yes. But sometimes tough decisions are needed to be made, a.k.a. we trade Jonathan Huberdeau and fire our coach and get Matthew Tkachuk. Make tough decisions.
That's right. 100%.
Tough decisions.
I feel like they did make tough decisions. They got rid of people.
What Ramsey didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
That's why you can't tell me they come out in the middle of right before.
And that's what I'm saying about Tyreek. Yeah. He wants to be there. He wants to win. He doesn't want to be second best.
He doesn't care where he is. Let me tell you something about a couple of things about Tyreek, and this might sour some people. If you believe a word that Tyreek says out of his mouth, that's your fault if you have those expectations. The guy is a perpetual liar. He is a selfish guy.
Yeah.
He's about me. Yep. And guess what's happening? Wow. It's what? My production slipped. It's not all about me. How do I get me in the news again? How do I get me front and center? And this is not questioning his ability. And the off the field stuff, I don't know what he does. That's between him and his wife. I don't get into that. Yeah. But I know the type of guy, the actions I've seen from him. I'm not listening to a word Tyreek Hill says. And it's not that I don't think he's the best player on offense or on the team, or that he's not going to have a great season. But I'll say, just look what he said 2 days before Jalen Ramsey got traded. Oh, I'm going to get him back on the team. He just speaks.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no self-awareness.
Yeah.
Don't listen to anything he says. Listen to what he does on the field. And if he does it on the field, then and guess what? Nobody's telling Tyreek Hill what to do. So that's very clear. If not, he would stop tweeting. He stopped going to these parties. He stopped doing all these things. Not happening. Again,
like you said, it's his personal life.
Yeah.
But he takes it to a whole new level in putting garbage out. And you're totally right.
Getting me fired up on the Fins. This is supposed to be a positive.
That's all right. No, it's all good. No, it's good. He can handle.
I'm twisting it a little bit. I do that. You got to watch out.
I'm going to
say, look.
Sarni has to calm me down on my show. Sarni.
I'm going to tell you. Look, and
I don't disagree with what you guys are saying. Let's be clear on this, okay?
Yeah, and let's also be clear. He is going to have a heck of a season, I think.
But
he's their best player.
If McDaniel, it's like you open Pandora's box and you can't put it back in. We all know that. Yeah. However, if McDaniel is still 3/4 of the way a good coach, he can make significant changes. Now, can he make the impact you guys are talking about by getting rid of Tyreek Hill? I don't think he could. I don't think he really had a choice.
It wouldn't be in his best interest to get rid of Tyreek Hill.
No, just between the money and everything else.
Yeah, it was tough to move him.
So, that was more of a, we got to eat a crap sandwich today.
If something costs $1 and I only got 75 cents, I'm not getting the product. So it doesn't matter.
I hear you.
Quarters away.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if a leader can change half of his decision
Let's
making,
let Bobby get in here. Bobby's
no,
dying.
it's fine. That's fine. I think it's great. I just, for me, again, Hank was bringing up what happened last year. I didn't see a player who played 100%. I saw a player who was half in, half out of the organization and off the field.
Yep.
That guy did not give 100% last year.
No.
He was too focused he was putting, talking about being traded to Kansas City halfway through the year, talking about racing people. I don't care about off the field. I do care, but that's not what I'm talking about. That's his business, whatever. I'm talking about on the field. I didn't see a guy who gave 100%.
No.
I didn't see a guy who looked at and go, man, I busted my ass all year. I can't do it, man. I'm gonna try to protect myself. If he would have went to McDaniel and said, hey, look, coach, if Denver wins or whatever the way that situation was, if we're out, if we see the score and we're out of the playoffs, I'm gonna go sit down. And McDaniel says, you know what? Okay, that makes sense, Tyreek. Go sit there. That's a different story. That was planned ahead. That wasn't planned. He went in there saying, we're gonna fight, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna play. Whatever. He goes in, see this thing, I quit. Jalen Waddle, what are you doing? He goes, you deal with it.
Yeah.
That's a quitter. He didn't bust his ass all year. He was not a leader of men. He should not be a captain.
No,
that's
never
malpractice.
that.
No,
I'm giving him a little grace.
But you did say he worked all year. I didn't see a guy who busted his ass all year. I didn't see a guy lead his team.
You're right.
Tyreek Hill was voted by his peers to be the number one player in the NFL, not on the offense, in the NFL. He took that trophy, hugged Raheem Mostert. Oh my goodness, Tua Tagovailoa. Cheerleader. Before the season even starts, the stupid thing that happened out of the stadium, that's a distraction. Comes in the thing, plays half-assed the whole year, injured wrist or not. Wrist or not.
I didn't see a guy gave
100%.
If you can't play, get out.
I'll give him a little grace with the
injury. If you can play, get in.
My thing is, I don't care what he said at the end of the year, saying, I may have to do the best for my team or whatever. That's Tyree. But let me just make this part again. Quitting on your team's a whole different beast. If your wrist was that bad, I agree. Yeah, that's a different. You could give some grace, but you played and you quit. You didn't give 100%.
Your coach didn't even know.
You're a quitter.
Here's the problem: your coach didn't even know about it. They asked him, and Jalen Waddle. I watched the game and I heard that when the soundbite of Jalen Waddle go is Tyreek out or whatever. The coach didn't even know what was going on. That's a problem, right? And it's just.
But my thing is,
I didn't see Zach Sealer quitting any point.
No,
right?
But that's my thing. Zach Sealer's a guy that you could go, hey man, I need you to help me lead this. Tyreek Hill should be that guy. What McDaniel should have done, and maybe he did, maybe he don't. We don't know. I'm with you. I don't believe a word, anything that comes out of Tyreek's mouth. But if I'm McDaniel, I'm going, man, my job's on the line. I need to change the culture. I'm going to go to Tyreek, not Tua. I know I have Tua. I'm going to go to Tyreek. Hey man, let's chat this out because I know I lost Ramsey. Ramsey's gone. He didn't want to be here because of me and whatever the hell. But look, I want you on this team. You're the number one player in the NFL. We didn't show it last year. Not just you. We didn't do it. It was a whole team thing. Okay. Yeah. But you're a big part of this team's success. And I want to help you. I want to get you back to where we are. Tyreek, he needs to get to Tyreek to do that. But can I trust Tyreek to do that? No, he has not shown it. It's about Tyreek. And that is what it is. That is what it is. But my thing, that's what I'm saying. When that time comes, when that 3 to 4 game stretch happens, when they're losing those games, and maybe Tyreek's acting out, whether we know it or not. We don't have to see it in the camera. We don't know what's happening on but if it goes, wow, Tyreek Hill's being sit down here. He sit down. You don't have to trade him. That's a cap hit. But you could sit his ass down.
Yep.
Show the league. That takes balls. Damn, Mike McDaniel showed some balls there.
If you have to, definitely.
That's where that might happen. Do I believe it will happen? No. I can't foresee it.
But again, we all hope it does happen. Like we hope. I know. The problem
I just don't think Tyreek's going to be as big of a problem as you guys think.
You know what's funny?
That's the bottom line.
Problem is bigger than Tyreek, but Tyreek's a big part of the problem.
Yes, he is.
I kind of, in a weird way, agree with you there, Hank. But I agree with Bobby in the sense too that it's the message you're sending that anything goes. Anything goes because look. From all accounts, I've heard that Tyreek's pretty good in the building. And that's what we don't see.
We don't know what happens behind
we don't see Jalen Ramsey off the field stuff, but in the building, Jalen Ramsey's a lot worse than Tyreek. So again, we're not in the building. I will give myself that leeway. Kind of, all of us, we don't know exactly what goes behind closed doors, what Mike says, but I'm just going you off what I see and kind of the message. But look. I hope we're wrong, and nobody wants them to win. we don't do these shows, and I don't know about you guys. It costs some money to do these shows more than I'm making it, and it's so nobody wants them more to win than I do, and I'm sure you guys as well. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess I talked myself out of everything.
You're good, bro. You're good. So,
like I said, I just want to be clear with you guys. You are completely right about his attitude, his past history. I mean, we all know it. It's been there
who you got in bed
forever.
with, though. You know who you got in bed with.
Especially when he left Kansas City. That was the biggest freaking statement and a signal to the team.
Go back to college. He was drafted in the 4th or 5th round because of issues. You know what you got in bed with. Again, remember what I said in the top of the show about a team trading you a player, the kind of organization?
Yeah.
When they trade you that player, because they're confident enough they can win and kind of reconstruct their roster because they have their fundamental pillars in place, Patrick Mahomes, et cetera, Chris Jones. Yeah. You got to look at who sends you that player. That's the only thing that holds me back on. Not that the Steelers are a great organization, like winning wise, but they're, they have kind of, Coach Tomlin is a great head coach and kind of when we talk about coaches. So, and they have a good front office. But anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. I digress.
No, bro, you're good.
You go for it.
Yeah, no, you're good. I would just say the original question was not more Tyreek. Tyreek's just it's a big part.
Yeah. We're not.
More about Mike McDaniel. Yeah. And no, I don't think he could lead the culture change. I just don't see it. I don't know if he could. I don't think he could handle a situation with Tyreek mid-season. I would love to see all of a sudden that type of change, and maybe it's like, damn, okay, but I just don't see it. If we need a hard ass, and we don't have that. And I don't know if that's Anthony Weaver, but it is what it is. But Fish Tank, yeah.
One last thing, gentlemen. Winning fixes everything.
Well, and that's where we're going to start off, Hank.
That's where I'm going to leave it now. Okay.
Well, let's hear it. So I'm still at 9-8. Could change before the start of the season. Again, that's my emphasis because see if they add anybody in the secondary, see how they do in the preseason. We'll go with our final we're on. But George, you're at 9-8 still, right?
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed. But Hank
tried to get me going.
He tried to do it. But Hank,
I did my best to give everybody the silver lining. Okay,
that's right. That's
9 wins plus or minus, things break a win or two either way.
I agree with you, Jonathan.
I pushed in so hard trying to make this.
Hank, what you said there might be a change. Have you changed? Last week you went from 10 to 9. Have you changed? Where are you at now?
Super Bowl now.
There we go.
We're winning the AFC.
Let me put these babies on.
That was
you get all the ladies with these suckers.
There you go. Man.
Okay, look, guys. This isn't complicated. From everything that I said to you guys, this isn't very complicated. I'm going to say right now, before preseason and everything continues forward, based on my research within the past however many hours, 11-6. 11-6. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I'll tell you why.
Yes, sir.
They have a very favorable early season. Okay? It allows a nice hot start, especially if our defense starts getting some action up the middle and causing havoc with the quarterback. That's going to completely change our entire defense and how Weaver or whoever has them play. I think we have more talent. The only thing that worries me is we don't have great backups to any position. We really don't. I don't think we have great backup options anywhere on the team. And that's the one thing that scares me, that I truly think the team could lose a lot more games than I'm saying. But for now, they have that favorable early start, and they're going to have mid-season challenges too. I think they're going to secure at least a minimum. I think they're going to get at least a wild card spot. But I think they're going to do better than that. I'm just keeping the faith that this is the year where the offense and the defense are going to stay together throughout the entire year. And instead of hurt one another, help one another. And that all started with the offense not being able to let the defense rest. And I think we're going to get a lot more of that with having Gordon on our team, with having the guy's name I can't say that I always just call him Jonah, our new guard.
Jonah.
So, so, I was looking at our high ceiling, and I think that's the highest ceiling we will achieve possible for every reason I've given you today. That's the highest we can get, 11-6, and until I see what our new players are doing, and things of that nature, I have no idea. We got to see some play first before I can really make any kind of real, what I mean, decision on this. But
There you go.
today, we all rode the silver lining with Hank today. There it was.
That's right. Well, there you go. We're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it with the silver lining.
Before I piss off everybody.
No. But no, it's all good, man. But let me just say, first off, this was an awesome show. 2 hours in, you have fun, you lose track. We got over 214 to 15 people watching right now through all the socials.
Awesome.
And everything. So I appreciate everybody who's
Love
watching.
you, folks.
Wherever you're watching from, thank you. Hop on over to YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. Hank and I are here every Saturday. Monday, don't forget to catch the Fins Faithful podcast with George.
Yep.
They'll have Curtis Ace per head on there.
We're gonna check out how to enhance this office, not just the reasons why, but kind of really detailed of what they can do. And Curtis is a good, really analytics guy, so it should be fun with myself, Jason Sarnium, Monday at 7:30. And guys, and after you do that, come on over to our channel. I always say, check it out. If you like it, there's a thumbs up button and the subscribe button. If you don't worry about it. But also make sure you do that to the Finstock Sports Network. But if you have time, also.
No, 100%. After this show, after you hit that subscription button, go jump on the Fins Faithful Pod, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, because again, you never know what you're going to get. I'm telling you, whether it's in-depth analysis, great debate. They had a great debate the other night. Guest commentary, great guest. I mean, George is killing it with Jason and company. So go check them out. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe button. That's Fish Tank Hank. That's George of the Fins Faithful Pod. I'm Bobby Finstalk. Subscribe. Yes, sir.
Bobby.
Yes.
Let's say goodbye to everybody first.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Thank you. I want to first of all thank George for coming on and entertaining my crazy thoughts as I took him through the trenches. And I want to thank all of you, especially Bobby, my co-host. Bobby is one of my guiding lights in my life right now. And Bobby takes care of me. And Bobby brought me on the show today to make sure that I exorcise the demon. You know what I mean? And I did that thanks to all of you. I got myself where I should be. This is so positive for me. I love coming on here. I love spending the time with Bobby and our guests, especially people with that much knowledge as George has. Okay. It makes it all fun, especially when I poke at them.
That's fun. I enjoy it. These shows get boring if you don't do that.
Yeah, it's true.
This was therapy for me, and I appreciate it. Thank you, folks. That was it, Bobby.
I felt that, Hank. I'm glad I could help in any way, and I had a fun time. Again, I always have a special place for both of you guys. It's where I started, and Bobby's one of the first people that reached out to me to help me. So always have time. And I promise I'm getting you both on the show this season. We're making it happen. And not just Bobby, but you too, Hank.
Hey, I was going to tell you, yeah, you could bring me on your show and I could piss
It's
you off over there too.
It's a done deal. It's a done deal. Done deal. And Sammy, you're getting in the principal's office here after the show.
Hey, shout out to Sammy and Fins TV.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. He's a better, believe it or not, he does a great work, but he's a better person behind the scenes. So I'm being nice to you, Sammy.
He is. Sammy is one of the best out there. And really looking forward to this coming season. We got some big things. Fins
Time
TV
for
and
Grandpa's
FPSN.
nap almost.
Yeah, Hank needs to take a nap. George got some family
Big
coming.
one.
I appreciate everybody tuning in. Like and subscribe. And most importantly, fins up, Dolphin fans.
Fins up, folks.
Next time.